want to look at how to write a basic language program to input a binary uh, number, base 2 number, and convert it to a decimal number. Uh, it's easy for us to do this ourselves by hand. Writing a computer program to do it, you'll see, has a few tricky points that you have to navigate your way through. So let me begin by talking about exactly what it is that we're trying to write the program to do. I'm going to write down a base 2 number. Let's say I've got 1011, okay? Base 2 number. The first number right here, the units place right here, this we want to convert this to a decimal number now. So this just says we have a 1 in the units place, so we have 1. This is the 2's place in a base 2 number, and it says we have 1, 2. Okay, this is the 4's place in a base 2 number. There are no 4's. And this is the 8's place, and there is 1, 8. So we convert that number. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 11. So this is the number in base, this is written in base 2, and it's the number 11 in base 10. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay, it's a pretty straightforward operation. So let's see how we might go about doing that. And let me open up the Chipmunk Basic window here. Okay, here I have it right here. Okay, extend it out a little bit. Now let's try to write the program to do that. So let me start with begin by inputting the base 10 number. Okay, so I'll write 10. So line number 10, input, and the input statement will be enter binary number. Okay, space, end parentheses, comma, and the binary number I'll call. Now, let's think about this for a minute. If I'm going to input it as a number, the computer automatically assumes that any number I input is in base 10. Of course, I'm not putting in a base 10 number, I'm putting in a base 2 number. So anything I write is going to take as a base 10 number, and that's not what I want to happen. So what I'm going to do to get around that, I'm going to input my number as a character string. So I'll input $1. Okay, so that'll be my first statement. Input $1. So now let me say print 20, print $1, and let me run the program to see what happens. Run, enter the binary number 1011. Okay, so it prints out 1011, except this is now a character string, and it's not a number. Now something else, you see that when I was when I was inputting my number, let's go back over here and look. If I input the number 101, binary number 101, I convert it in base 10. I enter the number starting with the most significant digit, and I enter the number, then the next most significant digit, and I keep going down until they get to units place. However, as I'm entering the number into the program, I don't know how many digits I have in the number. So, and the units number is the last number that I enter. So I'm entering the number most significant down, but typically the way I convert it into a base number is I work from this end up and go in this direction. So I enter the number in this direction, and I process the number in this direction. In other words, to convert the number to base 10, I first look at this and I say this is 1, this is 0 times 2 is 0, this is 1 times 4 is 4, and then I add that up and I get 5. So I enter the number in this direction, process the number in that direction. So let's keep that in mind. So we're going to have some way of working through the number backwards. Now, when we take this number and we process it, I mean, like I said, first we look at the units place, then we look at the 2's place, and then the 2 squared place, then the 2 cubed place, and so on. So we're working, adding up our decimal number by looking at successive powers of 2. So let's see how we're going to write our program to do this. So first I enter the number 1011, and the first question I ask is how long is a number, because I want to know how many of these things I have to look at and add up. And we know how to determine how long the number is, and we do that by using the length statement. Remember that? 30, I put n equals L-E-N, lane of $1. So now I could type print n, and that will tell me how long the string is. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put 40 print n. 40 print n. Let me list it. Okay, now run. Enter binary number 1111. Okay, so prints out the number I entered. Says the length of the number is 4, so all of that is correct. Okay, so I have that right. Now let me get rid of those print statements for now. So I'm going to get rid of those print statements. I'm going to type 20 and hit return, and I'm going to type 40 and hit return. So now my program looks like this. Okay, just has those two statements. I input the binary number and determine the length of the binary number. Now as I compute up the decimal number, as I pointed out, as I work in the decimal number going in this direction. So this is the units, this is the 2's, this is the 4's, and I add these things up to figure out what my decimal number is. So I'm going to write down a statement, let's say 50, and put in decimal equal to 0.0. So there's, I'm going to start, because I'm going to be summing up these binary values to generate my decimal number. So I start my sum by setting it equal to 0. So there I have decimal equal to 0. Now I'm going to, suppose I say, suppose I run the program, run. It says enter the binary number, but I don't enter a number and I hit return. The computer has nothing to process. So I'm just going to put a statement in there that tells the program to stop running if I don't input anything. So I'm going to type in a statement 60 if n equals 0. In other words, if the length of my input is 0, then will be a statement 70, which is end. So list, now I have 10 input binary number, 30 what is the length of the number. I'm going to start my decimal sum equal to 0, and then say if n is equal to 0, then n. Now let me type run. Okay, enter binary number. I don't enter anything, the program ends, but of course you don't see anything different in the output. Okay, so that if n equals 0, then end, that really wasn't that necessary. But I want to put it in there to sort of teach you the concept of ending the program, which sometimes can be important. I'm going to put in another statement. I have an if here, if n equals 0, then, and I don't want everything that happens here to somehow be in the if statement, so I want to end if, and I'll end if by putting in statement 80, end if. So this is something new here, the if statement. And what I'm really doing here is giving you some idea on how to use the if statement. There, list. Okay, so if n equals 0, then end if. So if n is not equal 0, if n is not equal 0, it'll skip all the way down here and start executing from this statement right in here. So now I'm going to do my sum, and my sum is where I add up these numbers. So I'll put in 4, and that'll be statement 90 for I equal 1, 2, n. Statement 90. Okay. So, and now what I want to do is I'm inputting the number. This will be the first term in my character string, second term in my character string, third term in my character string. So I actually want to start working with the number in my nth term in the character string. Now we've done something like that before too, where I will have a statement, I will create a variable that I call I backward. I backward, and I backward will equal n plus 1 minus I. So I backward equals n plus 1 minus I. Okay, remember when we did that before? And now I'm going to pull off the individual terms in this number, starting with the nth number, and I'm going to do that again using a statement that we have used before, and that's the character function called mid. So I'll put in 110, 110. I'm going to say S dollar equals mid dollar. This is the mid function. Remember, with mid, we put in a dollar. We say we're looking for the I backward character, I backward, and we only want to pull off one character. So this pulls off one character in the character string, starting with the nth character. Now here's another new item, 120. What I want to do is I want to turn that character, that string variable, into a number, and I do that as follows. I say ch equals ASCII S dollar. So that turns S dollar into a numeric value. And then I want to check to see, does that numeric value equal a 1 or a 0? And I know because I'm putting in a string of 1s and 0s, it's either going to be a 1 or a 0. So what is the ASCII code for the number 1? Okay, now I'm going to take a break before I restart the video, because I don't want to run over my 15 minutes for YouTube. So this might be a good time. Why don't you go look up and see what the ASCII code is for the number 1 and the ASCII code for the number 0. So what I'm going to pull off is the ASCII code for whatever this particular character value is, which will either be a 1 or a 0, and put that into CH. Okay, so I'll be talking to you momentarily.